Now, how do the insights that you have gained from this research help shape our city's future?
Well, I think I'm now going to speak a little bit for both of our societies, because we kind of energize each other in recognizing that no city develops a new civic fabric without an historic sensibility. And this is not just information. This means that, you know, we not only have to generate new information, but we have to include every major racial and ethnic group as part of the story so that citizens can recognize themselves in this. And until we have such an historical sensibility, I think our civic fabric is imperiled. And I just want to say I've been attending some of the conferences that Linda is responsible for on Newark and the Newark riots, to try to use history to break up the kind of jamming and masking image that the riots have for Newark. Many things are going on in that city other than rioting. And these stories need to be exhumed and promulgated so that people have a different sense of their city.
I'm sure that when you were in school, I know that when I was in school, we studied the history of great men. We studied wars, we studied massive movements. The kind of history that our two organizations promote brings the individual into history. If someone won the election, Kennedy won the election in 1960, we know some of the reasons why. We know the mood of the country. We know what individual families were doing. So it brings history much more down to a personal level. And with that comes a motivation or an introduction to civic pride and responsibility. Once you figure out that history is not in the hands of someone far off in a large building, that you have a responsibility for making that history, it changes the way you view your family, the way you view your neighborhood, and hopefully an extension of that is you begin to take responsibility.
Right. I mean, just sitting here, I've learned some things because I've seen photos of the trolleys and on Broad Street and Elizabeth Avenue and the old cobblestone streets, but I never fathomed a farm in Elizabeth. So that
we have a picture of it, and it was a functioning farm, certainly into the 1930s and probably after.
Okay. Now, can you tell people how to contact the Historical Society, and what are the upcoming Elizabeth forums in preparation?
Well, the best way to do it, I would say, would be to go onto our website, which is visithistoricalnj.org. And virtually all of our earlier forums are on that website, so you can access them.
Okay.
Future forums will involve probably explorations of the impact of Frederick Law Olmsted, who was the designer not only of Central Park in New York, but his organization did Warrenaco and Matano Park. And he designed Westfield Avenue as a special boulevard. And we have a number of other ideas of neighborhoods that we would like to target. But we're open to suggestions too. You can make your suggestions to us.
Paul, you just had my mind spinning. I'm still trying to picture Freeling Heights and Avenue, strictly trees over there. So.
I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you. Give me your email.
Okay. And what type of new historical knowledge of Elizabeth is needed to enhance the city's historical narrative?
Well, I think Linda has already touched on it. I think the social order, like good history, really requires information and insight generated from the bottom up, not just the top down. We have to do both of those things. But I think
all history makers.
Right.
That's right. And everybody has one. Actually, we do a lot of oral history because everybody not only has a history, everybody has a dramatic story. And usually when they demur and they say, no, we're just ordinary folks, I say, precisely, that's exactly what we want.
And you get them talking, and they're even surprised about how much they remember and how much they know.
Yeah. Well, if you guys ever have some time, research the history of the street markets in Elizabeth.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I remember as a child watching the chickens and
I do
all
too.
that. And
well, earlier we did a piece on Peterstown, and of course that was referred to a great deal. And in fact, one of the gentlemen I interviewed for this project on North Avenue, one of the main reasons they used the trolley was to get down to the Peterstown market.
And also, you know, milk was delivered to the house, which is no longer, and we had a milk machine.
That's right, on corners. Gas stations often had milk machines.
So when I tell students, nowadays, how we used to get milk delivered, they can't believe it. So
I know.
that's something else you can research.
Yes.
So once again, can you tell people how to contact you if they need more information?
Well, yes, certainly our telephone number is 908-353-1511, and you're welcome to contact us by email, which address is on the website.
And let me put in a plug for the New Jersey Historical Society. That's www.jerseyhistory.org.
Okay.
And we're at 52 Park Place in Newark.
I want to thank you both for this enlightening moment. I really enjoyed myself.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of Our City. Have a great week. Thank you.